Welcome, and I'm going to take you through the basics of something called prompt engineering. So we all know that AI is coming to steal the show. The world is changing at the hands and the feet of AI as we speak, and you've got to jump on the train and you've got to catch it, or you're going to get left behind and you're going to fail in life and blah, 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 right? All over the internet, it's all anybody's saying. But the problem, as with any type of gold rush, whether it be Bitcoin or AI or whatever it may be, is that people always try to hide basic, simple things in a lot of complicated jargon, all right? And that is what stops the everyday person learning these things and being able to capitalize. I want to help you with that, all right? So I'm going to take you through exactly how to use AI prompt engineering, which is essentially just commanding AI, all right? We're going to go through a definition first of what prompt engineering is, and then we're going to get into a clear example of basic prompt engineering. This is basic level prompt engineering. There is advanced prompt engineering for when you want to get a bit fancy, but to get started, basic level is all anyone really needs to get the best out of the simple AI softwares like ChatGPT, right? And if you don't know who I am, my name is Michael, co-founder of Scaling Edge and OHB Academy. And we just help businesses to grow and to become future proof. So let's get into it without further ado. So firstly, let's get into this definition of what prompt engineering is. Let's zoom in really quickly. So it's the art and science of designing, refining, and optimizing input prompts to effectively guide AI systems in generating blah, 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 blah. Like I said, all it is teaching AI what to do, telling AI what to do. Now, whether this is part of a big automated sequence of things like getting your AI to call a lead or whatever, or whether you're just talking to ChatGPT on a day-to-day basis, you may even be using MidJourney or one of these prompting apps for prompting AI to create a video or to create some sort of image for your branding, right? Knowing how to talk to AI, knowing how to give instructions in a way that it understands and it gives you the best results back is super essential in the world that we're living in today. And that's what I'm going to teach you. So we're going to use an example, right? And we're going to show you first how not to prompt AI and then how you should prompt AI, right? The proper way to do it using a simple formula that, I kind of come up with. So let's say that we are a fitness coach, right? It was easy to use fitness. Okay. And we're going to speak. We've been hired at an event to talk about particularly nutrition. A lot of people are interested in nutrition, right? I'm going to say, write me a presentation on nutrition for women over 30. Yeah, let's do that. All right. Now, it sounds stupid, but most people will command ChatGPT like this, right? Or AI like this. That's probably like the level 1 of what most people use it like, right? Level 2, what people use is say, write me a presentation of nutrition for women over 30. The problem is as well, because I've used my AI so much and I'm using ChatGPT 4, it will give me decent answers. Do you get what I mean? So really and truly, we should have used ChatGPT 3, which is the non-paid version. And we should have basically, used a fresh ChatGPT because what happens with ChatGPT in particular is it learns a bit about you, right? But anyway, let's see. All right. So nutrition for women over 30, unlocking vitality, energy, hormonal changes, decreasing, why nutrition slide 1, metabolism shifts, nutritional needs, health risk, key nutritional goals, support hormone, focus on phytoestrogens. Yeah, so you know what? Like, listen, it's pretty decent. It's not as like crap. I won't lie to you. It is pretty decent. You could probably do the presentation like that, right? That's how most people would write it, and that's what they would get. Okay. Well, and like I said, if you're using ChatGPT 3 and you're not using 4, you're not even going to get as good as that. But let's say write me a presentation on nutrition for women over 30. I want the presentation to take me 30 minutes, have a game in between. Boom. All right, cool. Let's see that. So now what it's going to do is going to edit again, something that it doesn't do on the normal ChatGPT, but this one will re-edit the document. So as you can see, what I'm trying to show you is that the levels of different people and how they use ChatGPT first before I show you the right way to do it. All right. So you've got the basic person that writes it, and you might get a half decent thing. And then this is where that person would think, yes, ChatGPT is awesome. AI is great, not realizing they're not even really capitalizing on it as well as they could do. And then the person too, slightly more detailed to it. And yes, they're going to get like something good done, right? They're going to get something slightly better. But what we're going to show you in this video is the basic level of prompting that will get you like, a crazy, a whole nother level of success with it. So this is the edited version, right? So here, opening statement, wipes is there. Unique by nutrition changes, core nutritional goals. So everything's pretty much the same. Slide 5. 10 nutrition to prioritize. Interactive games has given us a game divided parts into teams. Each team answers multiple choice. There you go. Sample questions, didn't give you the question answers. There you go. All right. The role of mindful eating, day in the life, meal plan, practical tips for long-term success. There you go. Really great presentation, to be honest with you. It's kind of showing off ChatGPT 4 and what's good about it, because I'm sure if you try it yourself at home with the normal one, it may not be as good. And I'm not selling for ChatGPT. I'm not like endorsing them, I promise. It's just I know I've used both and I know which one's a lot better. So now I'm going to show you prompt engineering based on a framework that I've kind of designed. Everybody who's teaches AI or does anything with AI has their own sort of frameworks, right? So I'm going to make one right here and there. So it's called WATN, okay? WATN, Watton. Let's call it Watton, right? But essentially, this is the framework for how to prompt better at a basic level, all right? We're still doing pretty basic stuff right now, but this is how you prompt better, all right? So I'm going to, as I go through the acronym letters, I'm just going to go into it. So first we got W, and W is who, all right? Who are you? So imagine this, right? ChatGPT, wherever it is, AI has the knowledge of everyone in the world, everything that's ever been published, everything that's ever been written, every book, every study, every whatever, right? It has the ability to tap into all of these things, right? Now, people pay hundreds of thousands to meet certain people, right? They pay 100,000. I just heard yesterday that Tony Robbins' speaker price, even just to speak at an event, is like 750 to 1,000 to £1 million. Right? People pay a lot of money to get in the room with different people, even to go see a private doctor, right? To see like a really private, well-renowned doctor or specialist, you'll pay thousands of pounds. Okay. You get to get ChatGPT. Imagine if you get to talk to that person right there and then, or better yet, you get them to help you with that specific task that you want to do, right? Is that not better than getting a random bit of information sent to you? Because the thing about ChatGPT and the reason why AI is growing and the new, trend of agents is becoming really popular is because AI and ChatGPT, like LLM models, language learning models like ChatGPT, they are very quick. As you can see, I said, do a presentation and within seconds, it was delivering the answer to me, right? Because it's very focused on just delivering you an answer. It's just like a servant. It just wants to serve you as quick as possible. But because of that, it's not always giving you the best information. It's not taking time to think slow. It's like, I'm sure there's a book on it, like Think Slow, right? I think it's about psychology. It's not thinking slow to allow it to think of what is the best use case. What does this person need? What do the person I'm serving need, right? So long story short, you need to tell it who it wants to be. So I'm going to say this, right? You are a world-renowned, I'll use the word renowned, so I use it again, world-renowned dietitian, nutritionist, and female health coach. You have 10 years experience in helping women 30 transform their diets and bodies. Because of it, you have doctors world and have also studied in functional medicine, use knowledge with root cause analysis to transform. All right, so what have I done here? Yeah, and this is why they say that AI not necessarily going to take people's jobs. It's going to take them by someone who knows how to use AI. And your knowledge is still important when you're using AI, right? And this is why I say it doesn't matter what industry, business, whatever you're doing or you're in, you can advance and enhance it using AI, because not everyone would know how to write that paragraph that I just wrote. Right? A lot of people will not understand that. But because I had been in that industry and I'm a coach or whatever, I understand that this is like the highest level of who I would want to give a presentation, right? This is the type of knowledge that I would want to pick from, okay? And it doesn't matter what industry you're in, you're going to understand some terminology, some basics of even at least who's the top player. Okay. You want the AI to be the top player. If you make it the top player, you get the best answers. Does that make sense? And sometimes for basic scenarios, you don't need it to be this well-renowned or this amazing person. All right. But you still need to give it context of who it is. Right. So sometimes you could even tell it it's a specific person, someone who's out there already, like Tony Robbins or whoever, like, whatever it may be. Or you can just describe the person. But long story short, you need to give it context regarding who it is and where the knowledge knowledge is being drawn from. And that is how you're going to get a very different answer. Okay. Now, the next part of the what in is address, how you address, right? Now, this isn't always as important, all right? And this is why prompt engineering, like I said, this is the basic level, because some people hide it with jargon. It's not always important in this. Like, I'm just getting it to write me a presentation, so I don't really need it to address me in any type of way, right? But essentially, I'll just say something like this: you are helping me, one of your students, to have all the knowledge that you know and understand over the years to help with my task with what. All right. So we're not going to dwell too much in that. Another way of how to address is like, how you want it to give you the information. So I might say, you will handle tasks for me in a straight to the point manner. No explanation. I don't know if I've completely said that correctly, but I've kind of explained it to just get straight to the point when it's answering my prompts, and just give me and make adjustments as well. Because if I say I want this presentation on nutrition and XYZ, you're going to have more knowledge than me. So I want you to take that freedom of the adjustment, right? Cool. Next, we've got the T. So what's the T? You probably guessed it. It's the task, right? Task I'm giving you. All right. And just be specific, be a little bit more specific than just write me a presentation. You got to kind of think about what you want to say, like how you want the presentation, how you want it to come across. Because now we're in a place of no limits now, right? Or maybe if you was writing a presentation yourself, it would be a case of like, you're just kind of feeling limited or whatever, but now you get to work with the best nutritionists in the world, right? So there's no limit. So how do you want to portray that information on the stage when you do this presentation? And that's what you want to kind of make sure you include when you're writing out the task. So let's get into it. So I'll say, I want you to write me a detailed presentation on nutrition for women over 30 who are working in corporate backgrounds and want to preserve their health as they get older, but also lose body fat and stay toned. Many of them may have hormonal imbalances or how to reverse some of the conditions. All right, cool. And then lastly, let's say I want you to make the presentation informative using science, research backed data, citing studies, every so often interactive. I want the presentation go full, leave no part for me to perfect. Right? Well, now what we've kind of done is we've gone into the next part, right? Which is notes. Yeah. So you give the task and then basically give the notes, right? Because I can't remember where I was listening or reading something and it talked about, the LLM model is essentially processing the data in like a sandwich format. So it takes the most out of the beginning of the prompt and the end of the prompt, and everything in between is, still takes information, but it takes most of the information and the action based on the beginning and the end of it, right? So you want to kind of really make sure that you can just hone in, right? I think I've given quite a bit of detail at the end. I want you to make the presentation informative using research-backed data and citing studies every so often. And then, but I think I've given it enough data, right? Cool. So let's get into it then. Without further ado, let's let it create the prompt, okay? You can see a much different prompt. You are well-renowned there, so you can do it. So you said we are well-renowned. One thing we could have actually done is to get it to really create the name and everything like that. But there we live and we learn. So you're a world-renowned dietitian, nutritionist, health coach, 10 years of experience helping women, studied alongside doctors, functional medicine, blend with scientific knowledge, root cause analysis, helping me, one of your students, knowledge, female coach, that. I want you to write. There's stuff you could even done better. We can give it context. Obviously, because this is like a imaginary scenario, there was less, but we could give it context in terms of, who we're talking to, what's the crowd going to be like, what we're actually doing, and all of those things would have made it even better. Let's have a look at the new one. It's a shame it's not going to let us look at the older ones, because it's been edited, I believe. But let's have a look and let's see. All right. So this is the new one. So nutrition for women, objective, provide actionable nutrition strategies. Why nutrition is critical? As you see, it's giving you some studies, age related, talked about PCOS, which is something I had in my mind, insulin resistance, thyroid dysfunction, amazing, loss of lean muscle mass. A lot more compressed than before, which is actually better. I like it because before I felt like there was a lot of other parts to this one, a lot of points, but this is kind of specific to that type of woman. Corporate stress, hormonal changes, age-related risk. Core nutritional goals: regulate hormones, promote fat loss, enhance energy. That's amazing. Core nutritional goals. That makes perfect sense. Food sources. Okay, love that. Magnesium, yes. Hormone health, common conditions, perfect. In an interactive activity, build your plate. Nice. Gives us a thing. Create a plate that balances macros. This is actually a very smart idea. If you're in like doing some sort of corporate health program, that's actually really cool, man. Create to build a plate. Daily meal plan for corporate women. Nice. Combat corporate stress with nutrition. Evidence-based practices. Intermittent fasting. Supports fat loss and insulin sensitivity. Recommended window 12, 16, 8. Nice. Mediterranean diet, strength training, practical tips for inflammation, Q&A, and resources. Okay, amazing, amazing. So what have we done and achieved here today? Listen, some parts of this video could have been different, and I will make the level 2 and probably a part 2 of this. If you want to see a part 2 or ChatGPT 3, just do it yourself. Type it in, you'll see the difference. Obviously, ChatGPT 4 kind of helps a lot anyway, even if your prompt engineering is not as good, but there is some key differences, right? And I'll try and get the comparison of in this video of the older version, the first version that it gave us, and the last version that it gave us, right? Learning to prompt engineer well is a top tier skill that will completely change the game for you. It will help you a ton, all right? And I'm going to give you a bonus tip to round off this video, right? So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. How I do a lot of my prompt engineering is I use the AI, the ChatGPT app, right? The voice. So that's how I do a lot of my prompt engineering, because it's easier for me to explain it. So I just memorize the context of the what and formula, the who are you, the how you're going to address me, task, and the notes, right? And guess what? Look, today we probably only used W and the T. The W and the T was only really the most important, what was really needed, right? The who are they, like the context, and then the tasks needed. But for other tasks, using other language models, using other AI softwares, this is where you see those other parts come into play, like how to address you or the notes at the end and so on and so forth, all right? But this should give you a basic knowledge of how to prompt better. Like I said, when I'm using ChatGPT, for example, I use the voice option so I can speak into it. That makes life really easy. But this is how you're going to get better results on AI, on ChatGPT, on with whatever AI model than most people, okay? So listen, the level 2 version, the more advanced prompt engineering video will be out very soon. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And also we have a ton of other videos on things like AI, on paid advertising, on content and personal branding, on systems and fulfillment, and all the things you need to grow and future-proof your business to 6, 7, 8 figures and beyond. All right, peace. See you in the next video.